Have you ever found yourself sitting in your favorite chair, the house quieter than it used to be, and thought, I wish there was something to fill this time, something that connects me with others? You're not alone. In fact, so many of us feel that way as the years go by. The house empties out, routines change, and suddenly, well, the days can feel a little too long. But here's the good news. Loneliness doesn't have to be a permanent guest. And today, I want to share a few hobbies that aren't just about passing the time. They're about reigniting joy and finding connection right where you are. In this video, we're going to explore 4 hobbies that can help you combat loneliness, meet like-minded folks, and even rediscover parts of yourself you might have set aside. And don't worry, none of these require fancy equipment or a big budget. They're all about simplicity, heart, and a little bit of curiosity. Let's start with something that's been a lifeline for me personally. Gardening. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I've never had a green thumb. Trust me, neither did I when I first started. But here's the thing, gardening isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, getting your hands in the soil, and watching something grow because of you. Whether it's a windowsill herb garden or a few pots on the patio, tending to plants gives you a sense of purpose. And here's the secret bonus. Gardening can be a bridge to community. Join a local gardening club or volunteer at a community plot. Suddenly, you're not just growing tomatoes, you're growing friendships. My neighbor, Helen, joined one last spring. Now, she's out there every Thursday, trading stories and zucchini recipes with her new garden gang. And the best part? She says it feels like she's nurturing 2 gardens, one outside and one in her heart. Now, if getting your hands dirty isn't your style, how about getting lost in a good story? Let's talk about joining a book club. It's not just pages and ink. It's a passport to conversation. Book clubs aren't just about what's in the book, you know. They're about the laughter, the debates, the "oh, I never thought of it that way" moments. And you don't even have to leave your house these days. Many groups meet online if getting out is tricky. Martha joined a mystery-themed club last year. She says guessing whodunit with her new friends gives her the same thrill as her old Sunday crossword rituals, but with way more giggles. And if you're worried about keeping up, here's a tip. Start with a club that reads shorter books or even poetry. It's not about speed, it's about sharing the journey. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm not a reader? What if I've never gardened before? That's okay. The beauty of these hobbies isn't in being an expert, it's in the trying. The first step is always the hardest, but I promise you, once you take it, the world starts to feel a little brighter, a little warmer. And if gardening or book clubs aren't quite your speed, don't worry. We've got a couple more ideas coming up that might just spark your interest. Hobbies that'll get your hands moving, your heart stirring, and maybe even your toes tapping. Now, let's talk about something that turns empty hours into creative power, crafting. Whether it's knitting, crocheting, or even simple embroidery, working with your hands does something magical. It's like meditation, but with a cozy scarf at the end. My cousin George took up knitting after he retired. At first, he said he felt silly, a grown man clicking needles, but then he joined a weekly crafting circle at the library. Turns out, he wasn't the only one there turning yarn into laughter. Now, he's the guy everyone goes to for help with their Purl 2, Knit 2. Crafting groups are everywhere. Libraries, senior centers, even online. And here's the kicker. You don't have to make a masterpiece. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. One stitch at a time, you're building something bigger than a blanket. You're building a sense of belonging. If yarn isn't your thing, how about dipping a brush in a paint? Art classes aren't just for artists. They're for anyone who wants to play, explore, and maybe get a little messy. I signed up for a watercolor workshop last year, and let me tell you, my first painting looked like a rainbow sneezed on the paper. But you know what? Nobody cared. We were too busy chatting, sipping coffee, and cheering each other on. Art becomes a language when words aren't enough. Many community centers offer free or low-cost classes tailored for seniors. And if you'd rather stay home, Online platforms have virtual art sessions where you can paint alongside folks from across the globe. My friend Evelyn, she's 80, told me her online art group feels like a world tour without the jet lag. They paint sunsets from Greece, forests from Canada, all from her kitchen table. Now let's shift gears literally. How about dancing? Before you say, "Oh, my knees won't allow it," hear me out. You don't need to cha-cha like you're 20. Gentle movement, swaying to a favorite song, even seated dancing. It's all about letting the music lift your spirit and your social life. Did you know many senior centers host weekly dance socials? Slow tempos, big smiles, and no pressure. Roy started going to these dances after his wife passed. At first, he just sat and clapped along. But now, he's the first one on the floor whenever Fly Me to the Moon plays. He says it's not about the steps. It's about the warmth of another person's hand, the shared nod when the music swells. Feels like being part of a heartbeat, he told me. But maybe you're thinking, I've never been a dancer, or a painter, or a gardener. That's all right. These hobbies aren't about what you are. They're about what you become when you give yourself permission to try. A little braver, a little brighter, a little more you. And if you're still wondering where to start, well, that's the secret. You don't need to find the perfect hobby. Sometimes it finds you. All you have to do is open the door. Connection doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments. The shared cup of coffee after a morning in the garden. The way someone leans over to admire your painting. The hum of a familiar song that makes two strangers smile at the same time. And that's the magic of these hobbies we've talked about. They're not just activities. They're invitations. Invitations to step out of the silence and into a world where you're seen, heard, and celebrated. Whether it's getting your hands in the soil, losing yourself in a story, creating something beautiful, or moving to a melody, you hold the key. And the best part? You don't have to do it alone. Every hobby we've shared today has a doorway to community. All you have to do is knock, or maybe just nudge it open with your elbow while holding a cup of coffee. Now, I won't pretend there aren't days when it feels easier to stay in that quiet chair. Believe me, I've had those days too. But here's what I've learned. Loneliness thrives in isolation, but it wilts in the light of small, brave steps. So, if you take anything from this video, let it be this. You are worthy of connection. You always have been. And there's a whole world of people out there waiting to share a laugh, a story, or a dance with you. Start small. Pick one thing that sparks your curiosity. Call your local community center. Join an online group. Or simply invite a neighbor over for coffee and a chat about that book you've both been meaning to read. The how isn't as important as the why. And the why is you. If this video resonated with you, consider liking it or sharing it with a friend who might need a little inspiration. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more chats like this coming your way. Remember, it's never too late to bloom, to laugh, to dance, to connect. However you choose to begin, know this, the world is richer with you in it. So go on. Pick up that trowel, that book, that paintbrush. Your next chapter is waiting.